This is the first in a series of screencasts to show you how to simulate the motion of a projectile using Geogebra version 4. This particular video explains the sliders that I will use to control the various aspects of the projectile's motion. Just in case there are any viewers who don't know how to create a slider, here is how it's done. So you select the slider tool and click on the screen where you wish to create your new slider. Then you give your slider a name. I'll call this one time, and you set the lowest value and the highest value of the slider, and then you set how much the slider increases by every time you animate or when you press the right arrow on your keyboard. So this will give a nice fine adjustment. Alright, now I'll take you through what the rest of these sliders are used for, or will be used for, when we eventually set up the projectile file. So just go back to the Move tool. I'll right click on that one and go into Object Properties. Okay, so the first slider is an angle, and it goes from 0 to 180 degrees with an increment of 1. This one and this one have the same attributes. They're going to represent the horizontal and the vertical components of acceleration, going from -20 to 20 and increment 0.01. Now, it may seem strange to have a horizontal acceleration which could have these values, because normally it's 0, but it's just to give you more options if you want to explore the effects of that. Time we've just seen set up. U is the initial speed of the particle when it's projected. Goes from 0 to 100, increment 1. These two have the same attributes. These will determine the point of projection. This will be the x-coordinate of the point of projection, and this will be the y-coordinate of the point of projection, and you can see the lowest, highest, and the increment there. Alright, so I'll just change the time so that when I animate it, it repeats in an increasing fashion. That will mean it will go from its lowest value up to its highest value, then reset back to its lowest value and go through the cycle in that way. Alright. Now here are some typical values which you might use for a projectile motion simulation. Set these to whatever you want. Try that again. I'll actually double click this here. Okay, so typically in a high school question that will be 0, horizontal component of acceleration. Press enter to accept that. This one would normally be gravity, so it'll be something like -9.81, or it could be -9.8 or -10, depending on the accuracy that your question requires. Time, I'll just leave it 1 for now. Your initial velocity, I'm going to set that at 30 units per second. This one here and this one here would typically be 0, but I'll explain that in more detail in a minute. I'll just press enter to select that last one, and I'll make this initial angle 30. Okay, and just forgot to press enter there. Alright, so now let's plot the point of projection. So I'll just call that POP for point of projection, and that can equal as a set of coordinates separated by a comma. So the x-coordinate can be x_0, that's the slider value, and the y-coordinate is y_0. So these two slider values, here and here, will control where the projectile is fired from. So press enter, and so now I'll set that one back to 0, and also this one to 0. Alright, so that's it for this video. In the next video I'll show you how to make calculations for things like time of flight, range, greatest height. I hope this has been useful. Thanks for watching.